is AJ. This is Hope Dealers with AJ Johnson. Hey. What we did, man, we dealing hope. Oasis, refuge, safe place, shelter. That's the definition of Oasis. Hey. Come on, Oasis Network Nation. My name is AJ. We're here, man, at Hope Dealers with AJ Johnson, man, and we have the living legend, Cordell Carter the second, not the first, not the third, the second Triple OG. We're here at Oasis.
Indeed.
Oasis Fresh Market, Cordell. It's an honor to have you, to all of you, wherever you're listening. North, south, east, west. Jesus Christ is the best. We are honored to serve you. What's the definition of Oasis? Refuge, safe place, shelter, where we want people to be seen, to feel safe, and to be heard. And that's what this podcast is all about. It's all about giving hope. It's all about helping you to find your unique purpose, your unique voice. And we have a legend that really cultivates as a gold miner. You help mine the gold in people. Cordell, why don't you give them, who is Cordell Carter, and what is your unique fingerprint on the earth today?
Well, I'm from Hampton Roads, Southampton Roads, Virginia. Portsmouth, if you know it.
Hey, VA.
Shout out. 757.
Hey.
Yeah. Son of a preacher man.
Hey.
We got to travel around the country quite a bit because of Kojic, indeed.
If you didn't know, Kojic is Church of God in Christ. My dad was Praise Fellowship Church of God in Christ.
Yeah. Higher Ground Outreach Church of God in Christ.
My.
Yeah, we do cartwheels and flips and all that good stuff. We're very exuberant people. That's my folks. That's who I'm from. I currently am tri-hatted, if you will. I have a W-2, which is with the Aspen Institute.
Government.
Big old,
What is the Aspen Institute? You being in leadership at such, because I'm an Aspen fellow. Shout out to Aspen Institute. What is, I didn't know until being a fellow. Shout out to GKFF and Emily and Lola, Queen Lola. What is the Aspen Institute?
Sure. So it was created in the late 40s as a hedge for civil society to not have another world war. The Walter Pepke and some of the other founding families were very concerned of where the world was heading. They said, we need a place for men to come together and find their common humanity. And so that looked very different in the 40s, the 50s, 60s, 70s, you can imagine. But men would come together, men of power, men of wealth, and they would read the great books and they would find their own stories and these ancient stories. And so we always say a great conversation in Aspen has three parts. It's a conversation with the ancients, the conversation with your peers, and the conversation with yourself that never ends. That's the tripart conversation that's implicit in all of our programs. And so in the mid-90s, as the internet was coming on, there was criticism against the Institute that we were too male, too white, too old. And they said, we got to do something or this Institute will die. The internet is going to change the world. And the Socratic program that I currently lead was part of that change.
And you're the executive director
I'm the executive director of the Socratic program. Absolutely. And I was an alum of the program back in 2011 and had a transformational experience. And that winter in Aspen, I was never the same afterwards. I couldn't continue to do what I was doing after just unloading my soul in front of strangers. I said, well, the word is out now that I'm gaslighting myself every single day. I go to this building to do things I don't enjoy. And
what is the Socrates? Well, let's start even. Who is Socrates? He was a great philosopher, a disruptor.
The instructor of Plato, and he didn't believe in having answers. He believed in asking more questions. And so it was about this self-exploration, constant questioning, and it would get you to your own answer. And so we've taken that method, this idea of leading with the question, something you would see first year of law school, and some of the great book schools. There are about 7 great book schools in the country, where you're this inquiry-based approach to understanding the world around you. That is implicit in all Aspen programs. You're asking big questions, but specifically the method of Socratic method is all that we do with the Socratic program, and we are all over the world. We do work with Congress. We do work with our international partners around the world. In fact, I leave for Korea in a couple days because we have a seminar there. First
In Korea.
in South Korea, absolutely.
So here we are. We got the executive director of the Socratic program. How many Black executive directors or Black leaders are there within the Aspen Institute?
Ooh, I would say maybe 5.
5. How many employees is it?
500.
500. And so me being an Aspen fellow, having the opportunity to go to Aspen not too long ago to the Healthy Communities Conference.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, you mentioned it was a unique experience. And going to the mountains, brother ain't never been to the mountains.
Okay.
The air is different. It's different.
It's very different. It's thin up there.
It's
yes.
thin. And so me being the competitor like I am, and I said, you know what? Let me go get me some hiking boots. So I went to a little what do you call it? Secondhand stores. But in Aspen, everything is ritzy. So
Yes.
secondhand store, the cost was the price of brand new news.
Right.
And so I'm thinking, I'm going to hike this. I'm a mountain man. And so I go and I said, my goal is I'm going to run up the entire mountain.
Oh, wow.
And there's signs everywhere like, caution, air is different. Take care of your health. I think I got a little Gatorade. I got a little liquid IV that I'm going to be all right. So here I am. I'm trekking. I got a little stick in my hand just in case a little werewolf or something come out. I don't know. So I'm hiking up the mountain, and I get like a fourth of the way up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
And I didn't bring my inhaler, seasonal asthma. Shout out if you had seasonal asthma. Hey. So I had to pause. I almost died in Aspen there on my first day, leaving the airport, not eating all day.
Yeah.
But the amazement with the self-discovery, something about being in the mountains, something about asking, why am I here?
Mm-hmm.
Something about asking, what am I called to do? About questioning, like you said, the self-discovery of seeking to understand before seeking to be understood. And I think that's what maybe a lot of us, and maybe you listening, and hey, fact checked us on YouTube, whatever, drop a chat in. But Cordell, what is the question that particularly minorities, being the first Black-owned grocery store, being the first grocery store in 14 years, first Black-owned in dozens of years, in an underserved community, we're here live late at night at Oasis Fresh Market. What is the question that Blacks should be asking themselves today?
I think the first question is, why are we always accepting scraps? I believe in ancestral intelligence. I call it the other AI. And this country, this state in particular, has a long history of Black economic power. And it is probably one of the most underutilized cards in our portfolio in this country. We just, for whatever reason, I mean, call it pathological issues as a result of, several hundred years of institutional racism, whatever it is, it prevents us from ensuring that the grocery store didn't leave 14 years ago. Okay. Moreover, I've learned a little about your story. It shouldn't have been this hard. Now, we're thankful for the struggle. We're thankful for the journey. We learned a lot from it, but it really shouldn't have been this hard. It really shouldn't.
Expound on that, because I don't think people really, and Cordell being a mentor, board member, partner, advocate, coach, some of the behind the scenes ish, the pain and the struggle and the tears and the counseling sessions that we had to go to because of what we went through. Talk about when you said it shouldn't have had to been this hard, building a $6.5 million grocery store, raising another $1.5 million for the nonprofit to offer fresh produce and incentives. If it shouldn't have to be this hard, why was it this hard?
It's this hard because humans suck. Okay. Citibank did some research. This would have been about 4 years ago, and they were quantifying the cost of institutional racism and impediments in our economy based on race. They calculated from the year 2000 to 2016 that it was $16 trillion, and the annual ongoing cost.
From what time to what? You got to say that again.
Just 16 years, from 2000 to 2016.
The cost?
The total cost is about $16 trillion. And this is economic possibilities lost. So people not being able to get loans, people getting underwhelming appraisals. This is in the news today. People not getting loans for construction, depending on the neighborhood, that are still red line, even though they're not red line.
North Tulsa.
Yeah. Or what about the people, like, because of the known impediments, they say, you know what, I'm not even going to ask for a loan. I know I'm not going to get it. Or this store is way too nice. It must not be for me because I'm not used to getting high quality things.
Cordell, let's pause right there. We have heard that so many times because our name is Oasis Fresh Market, and we have a for-profit and a nonprofit, the Oasis Projects. We have heard residents, still, we've been open 16 months. To this day, residents that live in North Tulsa have said, this is my first time here because I thought that it was too nice for me.
My Uber driver who dropped me off tonight, he says, are you going to the grocery store? I said, yeah. I said, have you ever been? He says, no. I said, you know that's a black-owned grocery store. He was like, no, it's not. I'm like, it's a black-owned grocery store. He says, what's inside? I said, the same thing you would see at Whole Foods. I said, you should come here and shop tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into that. What are we not doing as a part of articulating, communicating, sharing what you even said, that the power of what we're doing, and our other guest that was here, shout out to Councilwoman Vanessa Harbor, Mr. Albert, Mr. SNS coming to visit all the way from Atlanta. Maybe are we too focused in on our work? What am I asking? How do we not see what you see from the outside in, but yet you're an insider?
Well, I'm going to tackle that in two ways. I'm going to go outside in. Firstly, you're contending with a certain pathology. Every action has externalities. And when people have been downtrodden for years and years and years, it becomes a learned condition. So even if the door is wide open to me, I will go around the back. This is Carter G. Woodson, Miseducation of the Negro stuff right here, 1902. Go find the book, right? Like, you don't have, if you told me for 30 years that I can't go in the front door, even when you open it up and say, yeah, you can come in now, I'm going to still go to the back. It's just a habit. Okay.
Condition, paradigms.
Absolutely. You're conditioned to it. So people are conditioned to believe they don't deserve nice stuff. Conditioned to believe they don't deserve high quality customer service. Okay. And so that is an impediment. That's a pathology that you can't fix. All you can do is be excellent every single day. But there are people in this community that are influencers that could help change behavior. All right. They have to do something. Let's say this idea that we are creating an environment where everyone belongs. That's a two-way street.
Creating an environment where everybody
belongs and has equitable opportunities to thrive. That's the second part, right? But the belonging part is a two-way street. We're assuming that's just on AJ to make sure you're welcome. No, I have to walk on faith too. I have to say, you know what? I'm gonna walk in here like I deserve to be there until someone tells me different.
Come on, which F do you want, faith or fear? I know he's all right. That's powerful.
Yes,
that's powerful. And within not just the minority community, but so many rural and underserved communities alike, there is a conditioned mindset that how do we break that? Is exposure the only way that we break that? Or what's the question we need to be asking ourselves, no matter what race, in order to get over that cycle of generational poverty?
Yeah, it's exposure and consistency. Because remember, a food desert is more than just a food that's missing from the desert.
Hope.
There's a deficit of hope, indeed. And there's also a deficit in trust. They don't, even though you say I belong, I don't trust you. Because people who look like you and talk like you have disappointed me over and over
oh
and over
my
again.
God.
You feel me? You feel me? And so when I used to be in public education, I would tell my colleagues, like, we have to be the consistent adults in their life because everyone around them is inconsistent. All right? So, yeah, we got to work doubly hard, but hey, You decide to do this. It is what it is.
I want to encourage whoever's watching or listening right now, the power of consistency. It's worth the pain. It's worth the sorrow. It's worth the tears. It's worth the joy, because there is someone on the other side of your obedience. There's someone on the other side of your perseverance. Take it from me, someone who recently walked through major offense, major betrayal, but even in so choosing to say, it's worth it. It's painful. I don't want to get out of bed. Why would someone do this? But to see the grandmas and the little AJs and the little Miss Johnsons and the little, there's a little boy who broke his elbow climbing on the roof trying to get into his house because his parents he hadn't seen his parents. Young boy, Caucasian boy, living right here in North Tulsa. And he came to the grocery store because he said, I felt like I can get some food here. So he said, in his cash, I said, bro, you go out there, you pick up a little trash, and I'll give you a meal every single day. Mm-hmm. His name is Josh, young Josh. And to see the Joshes come in, all races, Burmese people, white people, black people, Hispanic people, they feel seen, they feel safe, they feel like this is a refuge, safe place, shelter, they feel heard. Sometimes I'm thinking if it was for the one, it was worth it. So I want to encourage whoever you are, that we're intentionally pausing to say the consistency, don't give up.
The blessings in the pressing.
Yeah. The blessing. Expound on that. Yeah. Because I'm getting too emotional.
Well, I mean, how is wine created? You take the broken pieces of the grape.
He's preaching now.
The broken pieces, and you squeeze it till there's nothing left. The blessing is in the pressing.
And not that we religious, but just Jesus was at the Garden of Gethsemane, and Gethsemane was the pressing place. And he pressed so hard that he had blood like sweat coming down because the pressing. But even in the pressing, there's great reward. Even in the pressing, there are people on the other side of the breakthrough. Man, Cordell is stirring us up. Why is it that you are so passionate about operating now? The Aspen Institute is almost it's a major. And we didn't even talk about the other things you do. Let's go there.
Yeah.
Like you're so much more than the Aspen Institute. What else do you have going on?
Yeah, so I have an LLC called Expectant Advisory, and it preaches the social gospel of belonging, which is something I believe in fervently. This idea that there are a variety of ways that we can use our voice. And my sermon to my people, which are my fellow Americans, and frankly, people around the world that I get to see, is that they do belong. And that whatever they think they deserve, you do deserve it. You should have a healthy sense of entitlement about life, because the pie of opportunity is so big, you can bring as many forks and spoons as you can carry.
There's abundance.
There's tremendous abundance.
There's abundance.
Yes.
And I say this all the time. Your winning doesn't mean my losing, and my winning doesn't mean your losing.
Exactly. This is not a zero-sum game.
How do we flip that mentality?
We have to be consistent as we praise others' successes. I found that once I made the switch and I stopped being Flavor Flav and start focused on Chuck D to actually delivering, part of the delivery.
Flavor Flav!
Yeah. So Flavor Flav is the marketing and or trumpeting our own successes, and Chuck D is the actual deliverable. You keep focusing on the Chuck D, the Flavor Flav will show itself. But Chuck D doesn't talk about Chuck D.
He talks about others.
Talks about others. So the more you lift others up, guess what?
Lift as you climb.
Absolutely.
I'm going up the mountain. Going up the mountain? That's a church song, Coach's song.
Yeah.
I'm
going up on the rough side of the mountain.
What's the song? It's in my head. Yeah,
I'm going up on the rough side.
Come on.
The mountain. That's what the senior citizens choir sing that.
I'm a hold to God's unchanging hand.
Indeed.
It's offering time all across the world right now. Reach into your pockets,
Yeah.
into your www.theoasisprojects.com. Click that donate button. Yeah, we got merch on the way. I feel a seed coming. Katie. Hey, this is Hope Dealers with Cordell and AJ Johnson, and we're talking about really finding your unique difference maker on the earth. Talk about, if you would, why you think this is not a model, but this is a movement where we have the for-profit and the non-profit grocery store and wraparound services. Why do you feel, and you're one of the smartest people that we know right now. Why do you think this is not a model? This is a movement.
I think it's a movement because the social sector is sick of talk. I often say that DC is a place that engages in problem porn. And you just describe the problem in a variety of ways, and that's what gives you credit. Like, oh my gosh, the way he articulated the problem was great, but no one solves anything. And so we know all full well about the traditional nonprofit model. We know that it is inadequate for a lot of things, mostly on sustainability. The for-profit model was fantastic, but people that typically have nonprofits don't want to help for-profits. So by combining the two so that they are sustaining and they're filling the gaps in each other's corporate structure, all of a sudden you have a complete model that is actually portable. Okay? Because you only do nonprofit once.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, for-profit, they're very easy to set up LLCs that run different entities.
Yeah.
But getting a 501c3 certification from the IRS is very challenging. But once you do it once, now you can scale grants across multiple areas. All right? So people feel a lot more confident. It's like giving to United Way for a specific need. And here that need is daily nutrition. People shouldn't starve in a land of plenty. That's just ridiculous. It should insult us all that's been happening for years and years and years. So the fact that people can shop here with dignity, that no one ever know that they were short $4.57.
Come on.
The nonprofit covers that. They can come to this one-stop shopping, a place where they feel like they can belong and get all the needs, say, like, be it health, be it mental health, be it physical health, be it social services, be it, hey, I just need to get a license. I don't know where to register for vote. Hey, you can do that right here.
Right here.
It's a game changer. It's a game changer for people that live in a desert of hope.
So you working with the Google executives, you working with the American Express, the Goldman Sachs, the who's who, not just in America, but abroad, what would you say that you see on the horizon as a disruptive thought leader for Oasis Fresh Market and the Oasis Project, our nonprofit?
Yeah, I see an Oasis Corp that has multiple subdivisions, if you will, the subsidiary of just the farms. Why? Because at some point you're going to have to solve your supply chain issues. It's not just you. It's everybody has supply chain issues. So the only way of really solving it is to grow it yourself.
Yeah.
But there's a skill set that's developed. There's people there's inherent dignity in work and providing jobs for people while they help themselves. Game changer. There's real estate components to this. Why? Because wouldn't it be a lot easier to co-locate everything the kind of people need in one spot?
Come on.
Think about this as a funder. Like, I want to give, because I love AJ's personality. I want to give to this thing, but I also need to solve that issue and that issue and that issue. If these things are somewhat related, can we solve it all in one spot? That just makes it super efficient for me as a funder. And then there's an actual, you're changing the model with respect to social services as it relates to nutrition.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what it is about our country and the stigma that we have against people that require extra help for a variety of reasons. But we do a purposeful job of making them feel like crap for it. Okay?
Literally, the food paradigm or pyramid is one that perpetuates the cycle of sickness.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, no hate on the food banks. The food banks, like, which we give to the food bank. But what do they give in underserved communities? Breads and pastries, and shout out, the food banks are literally helping to feed millions of people. 53.6 million people live in food deserts in America today. The majority of those communities are Black and brown individuals, and the remaining of them are rural communities. And so I say that at the same time, it perpetuates the life expectancy rate and the mortality and the morbidity rates. food is medicine.
Food is absolute medicine, and frankly, we should be pushing healthier lifestyles in people. Frankly, a lot of us need to go vegan.
Hey!
Especially
October 1st through the 31st, AJ is going full vegan.
Okay.
And the Oasis Nation, we are going vegan October 1st through the 31st, from shampoo to deodorant. Brother may smell for a little few days.
Okay.
Full vegan. We're gonna do a vegan fest of what do we call it? What are we calling it? Vegan fest. I think that's what we're calling it. Where we're gonna have artists. We have, I think, over 241 people that are committed to do this with us.
Oh, wow.
So this is not a model. This is a movement.
Okay, you got to sign me up.
Hey!
I can't let you go out there. By yourself.
Yeah. Detergents,
sign me up.
lotions, toothpaste. It's a sweet one. We will go full vegan. And we're going to document it to your point, to show, one, the power of the mind, the power of detoxing, but the power of healthy eating. If we are what we eat, literally, and if our words have power, we are what we speak, man, that's why we're setting time aside. Some people would say we're calling it a fast. No, but sign up, join with us. We want 100 people to join, to get serious about this for the next 31 days. Because I'm going to get my blood tested. We're going to show the results from the doctor, the before and after, because it is time for us to take control. We were at one point the strongest, the healthiest, because we were the farmers. Yeah. Though we were in bondage as being slaves, at the same time, we were growing and eating what we grew. And now less than 2% of blacks in America are farmers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have completely gone the opposite way.
Gone the opposite way. And think about back to what I see. You mentioned there are 54 million Americans living in food desert. That's about a seventh of the population of 335.
What's 335?
335 million in total population in the country.
Wow.
Yeah, we can't count the folks that are undocumented. We give a good estimate.
Yeah.
Probably 10 to 15.
335 million. So that's a third.
Yeah, you're at a fifth. I'm sorry, seventh.
Seventh, okay.
So that means there are large swaths of this country that people are driving, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles to get to a grocery store. The vision I see is Oasis markets in all 50 states.
Come on. You better say that.
Yeah,
again.
And all 50 states represent. And this is not 50 stores. Okay, we're talking
if
about
McDonald's can do it.
Yeah, we're talking about a lot of stores.
Y'all, hope dealers. We are coming to a community near, and not for the sake of wealth and fame, but to transform and bring hope.
Absolutely.
And transformation and healthy living and exposure to people to say, if AJ, who C's got degrees, I wasn't a smart student like you, my man. I was one of those thank the Lords. Other people, you were summa cum laude, I was thank the Lord. But if someone like me can do it, I promise you, however you feel, we can do it. And we will literally, this is a movement that will bring people together and be the center of the community. Even communities that don't look like me will be touched and impacted by the power of Oasis.
Yeah, and your challenge now is to create the template. Right now, you are the template, but you can't scale AJ until you make more AJs. And so as you are learning through this first 2 years experience, putting plans at least in your mind and somewhere on paper in a lawyer's offices for store numbers 2 through 8, you got to think about what is that national model. So when you're doing the annual convening or the quarterly convening for all your store managers and store employees, what is the method that you are transmitting to them? Because they have to be able to, no matter where you are, if I'm in Indian country or if I'm in Appalachia, when I come in that door, I expect someone to greet me with the same energy.
Welcome to Oasis.
Okay, the accent that I'm familiar with.
Yeah,
you feel me? And my cultural norms acknowledge, and that is something that can be taught. You need a template.
Bueno,
you're the template.
Hey,
yeah.
And you know what's so crazy is you say that as Apple has just launched their 14th version, and the movie theaters were packed, filled with people. just to get a glimpse of the reveal. And what I literally saw in my mind was the same, where there would be literally movie theaters packed with people watching the reveal of Oasis Argentina, Oasis Detroit, Oasis Chicago, Oasis Atlanta, Oasis Milwaukee, Oasis LA, Oasis Oakland, Oasis Russia, Oasis Iran and Iraq, because it's a global movement, because people are starving and dying in our world. It's not just an American thing. It's a global crisis.
Absolutely. And you think about where the food deserts are located in this country. I want you to get that map, find that map, and make that part of your mental framework every single morning, because that's where your stores are going to, those dots are going to show up.
Come on.
Right in those
Come
deserts.
on.
Those deserts become green again.
Wow. An oasis, a refuge, a safe place, a shelter where people are seen, they are safe, and they are heard. Man, my cup runneth over, Bishop.
Well, surely goodness and mercy.
Man, this is Hope Dealers, and we have one of the greatest minds that is literally dealing hope, and from a strategic but also a philanthropic role. You sit on the line of two amazing worlds that some people never get to experience. You're going to be in Korea. Tell us about the next 30 days. Where you're going to be?
So I have a seminar in Korea, Seoul. And
Seoul. Shout out to Seoul. My wife is Asian persuasion. 3 Blasian babies. We need to come to Seoul, brother.
Indeed. Be homecoming for you all.
Hey.
And then I head off to Skopje, Northern Macedonia.
Where's Skopje?
Northern Macedonia is above Greece.
Okay.
It's in the Balkans. And then I head to Sarajevo in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And then we go to Prague. Then we go from
Russia?
Prague to Paris.
Oh, Paris.
And then Barcelona, Madrid, and then Ronda, which is where the seminar is. This is south of Spain. And then I go back to DC the next 30 days.
Boy, he like, you know how many languages you know, Cordell?
German is my best foreign language.
German.
Yes.
Eins, France.
Yeah. Yes.
Boy, you didn't know that brother was trilingual. Uno, dos, tres. Ay, ay, ay. Look, we're here. Cordell Carter, Hope Dealers. He was a part of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They're going to be a part of Oasis. Business Roundtable for National Charter Public Schools. My man has won the White House Champion of Change Award. Ay, ay, ay. We are about bringing hope and being a catalyst, but finding your unique difference. You're valuable. You have purpose. You're called. You're loved. You're anointed. You're seen. You're safe. You're heard. Hope Dealers and we want to give a shout out. We always do this. We pay homage. Reginald Lewis and the Lewis family. Man, Cordell put me in the game. I literally got the book and have not stopped listening.
Yeah.
This man, black man, got accepted into Harvard without filling out an application in the 60s.
In the 70s.
In the 70s. This man, back in the 80s, 86 is when I was born, January 29th, do me right, bought a food grocery conglomerate made up of 62 companies or 62 countries.
Companies,
60 for $950 million as a black man.
Yeah.
He has become
It's the first $1 billion deal. Yeah.
First billion. Look, Oasis Foods. We will modern. I don't know if the Lewis family will ever hear this, but it would be my honor to recreate the Lewis Oasis Food Distribution Network. I just got chills.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen.
Oh, I like that.
I just got chills, and it's not even cold in this thing.
Yeah.
But because we want to pay homage. So we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for our ancestors, as you've said, if it wasn't for those that have gone before us in the in the Tulsa race massacre, what was once Black Wall Street, if it wasn't for the Reginald Lewises and the families that sacrificed, his story of his daughter being 7 years old, and I've got 3 daughters, 7, 4, 7, 5, and 2. She talked about being 7 years old and thinking her dad was a hero and pulling up to school in a chauffeured car. At 7 years old, he exposed her to really a whole new world where they would go to Paris on the week as a black man in the 80s. And when he bought the company, the food company, it was just him and a partner, and the investor said, "Who are you?" Like he had so much power that he went in stealth and bought and won the bid for $950 million back in the 80s.
Yeah.
He was a catalyst.
Oh, yeah.
So this black food co-op that we will have will be the Reginald Lewis Oasis co-op. I got chills.
Oh, I love it.
And a statue of him and his family that have gone before and have paved the way for the little AJs of the world in Tulsa, in Detroit, in Atlanta, in Chicago. Food is medicine. Talk about what Reginald Lewis means to you and the book that he wrote.
Yeah, the book is called Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? And I read it. It would have been probably early 90s, right before going to college. And it reads like a superhero novel.
His confidence and his
just
swag.
His swag.
Brother got swag.
I started with shopping at Brooks Brothers because of him, by the way.
Ooh,
Yeah.
props. And it got his own custom suits.
Yeah.
Because of Reginald Lewis. Lewis family.
Yeah.
It's my honor. We're going to meet soon, I think.
Yeah. And so it was incredibly inspiring to me. And I just, he's always been a hero of mine, and it's been a great pleasure.
Why?
Because he did things that people didn't expect him to do. And frankly, it was not a system structured to it was structured to make sure it did not happen. And so I'm always surprised and admire folks that do really hard things. You've done a really hard thing here, okay? So the spirit of Mr. Lewis is here. It's in this building. It's in you. And I'm saying we got to leverage that to do even more. Because he bought a big company. He didn't create it from the ground up. Yeah, it's a different type of challenge. And so there's no doubt in my mind that the same fire, same gusto that propelled Mr. Lewis to be the first black billionaire will propel, Store 100, Oasis.
Man, it's my honor. It's my honor to be motivated and enlightened by someone like him because of you. And as I was listening to the audiobook, I was like, don't quit. Don't quit.
Yeah.
And if he could do it back in the 80s.
Yeah. There was no Rose in the 80s. There was no sense of, there's no national conversation about equity in the 80s. Yeah, he literally was bobbing and weaving the whole time. Here we had to do a 1-2 every now and again.
And there were so many times and so many days that I wanted to walk away.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Because the thing that people don't talk about in the grocery space, there's not a lot of people that look like us on the logistics side, or the IT side, or the accounting side, or the AI side, or the merchandising side, or the architecture side. And so I'm here looking for a model, and I'm like, I don't want to stop. But then I feel the people that have gone before, the ancestors, don't quit. They had it much harder and they didn't quit. So who am I to quit?
Yeah.
Don't punk out. Don't quit.
Yeah.
And so, man, it's to hear your words of the Mr. Lewis, Reginald Lewis. Get his book. No matter what race you are, get his book.
Absolutely.
There's so much. It's a college degree. Like you
Absolutely.
can learn, so you can get your PhD by getting this man's book.
Yeah.
And so it would be an honor to redo, to R3, to rebuild, to restore, to renew something like a Lewis Foods co-op center in honor of him because he was the first.
Yes, he was.
And that's not what's talked about. I didn't even know the empire that he built without you educating me. And now I won't put it down.
Yeah.
And so this episode is dedicated to Reginald Lewis and the Lewis family. And we will change food deserts, inspiring people and food co-ops across the country. Cordell, it's been an honor to serve you. Any final words for you, Cordell?
Keep pressing. It gets better, but keep pressing.
Keep pressing. The episode is Press On. The Oasis Way. Cordell Carter, it's our honor to serve you. You're seen, you're safe, you're heard. Oasis, more than just groceries, equipment for life. Stay tuned. Check us out on Facebook, the Oasis Fresh Market, Instagram, IG, TikTok, YouTube. Coming at you. Join us for Vegan Fest, October 1st through the 31st. Sign up. The link is there to get signed up, to get the information, to follow us, to be a part. 100 people changing the world, changing your health. Oasis. Let's go. My name is AJ. This is Hope Dealers with AJ Johnson.